Another Valentine's Day retrospective. This time I'm heading back to the world of Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and the rest of the Peanuts gang with the special Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown, originally airing in 1975 on CBS. This one was a bit like It's Christmas Time Again, Charlie Brown, in that the special was broken up into segments, but instead of every scene being quick comedic blackouts as they're called, everything was kind of sprawled across the entire special. In the opening shot, we see Charlie Brown sitting by his mailbox as Lucy Van Pelt shows up, questioning what Charlie Brown is doing. He answers that he's waiting for Valentine's, and Lucy wishes him luck, adding, "You'll need it." Right out of the gate starts with Lucy putting Charlie Brown down. After Charlie Brown checks his mailbox and finds nothing, he takes a walk and passes by Snoopy in a Cupid costume. He tries to shoot Charlie Brown with his arrows, but they all miss, although they do get pretty close to him. Just before Snoopy can give up, he goes to Charlie Brown himself and places one of his Cupid arrows on his head. Meanwhile, Linus is called upon by his and Sally's teacher, Miss Othmar, to pound the erasers, making Linus believe that Miss Othmar really likes Linus. Linus takes the erasers outside to pound the chalk dust out, feeling honored to be chosen by Miss Othmar, until the smell of the chalk makes him cough. After school, Linus comes across Charlie Brown still hunting in his mailbox for Valentines, giving him the idea to give Miss Othmar the biggest Valentine there is. Does this feel weird to anyone else? I mean, when I was their age, it was normal to give out Valentine's Day cards to the whole class, including the teacher, but Linus here has a full-on crush on their teacher. Next, we see Lucy pestering Schroeder as usual while he's practicing his piano, as she informs him that the Valentine was the first greeting card, dating all the way back to the 16th century. But clearly Schroeder doesn't give a as he continues ignoring Lucy the more she speaks. Lucy laments, "Sometimes I don't think you realize you could lose me," before completely snapping over the tortures of a lost love as she destroys Schroeder's piano. No wonder Schroeder doesn't want her. As we head back to Linus' story, we find him buying a large box of candy in the shape of a heart for Miss Othmar. Violet notices and points out to Linus how expensive it is, to which Linus answers, "The amount of money that you spend on a present should be in direct proportion to the amount of affection that you have for that person." And not only that, but it's not really any of Violet's damn business, but she does warn Linus to be careful with falling in love with his teacher. However, Linus states that he is only very fond of the ground on which she walks. Realizing that Linus knows what he's doing, no he doesn't, Violet asks him for advice about what to get her teacher, a male, for Valentine's Day, and Linus suggests shaving lotion. So Violet asks the clerk in the candy shop for heart-shaped shaving lotion. Maybe they had little gummy-shaped, bottles of shaving lotion? That would be a good Valentine. As Linus comes out of the store, Sally spots him carrying his large box of candy. And it looks like Violet had some success finding shaving lotion as she comes out of the store with a wrapped gift, which I'm assuming is shaving lotion, and Sally believes that Linus bought the box of candy for her and asks Violet for advice on a present for Linus. So she takes Linus's advice and suggests a bottle of heart-shaped shaving lotion. I don't think Linus is old enough to shave yet. While taking a walk, Lucy comes across a Valentine's Day special drama Poppet show, with Snoopy selling tickets for $5. Looks like he's not expecting a big crowd. Lucy wakes him up, physically, asking for a ticket, but Snoopy gets stuck in the tickets. At the concession stand, Snoopy gets Lucy's order of popcorn mixed up as he gets stuck in the machine for that, too. Finally, the show begins, with Charlie Brown narrating Snoopy's show. But as usual, Lucy gets tortured when she has water dumped on her, she gets splashed with mud, pelted by garbage, beaten by the bad guys of the show, and rained on before she gives up and leaves the show early. At school, Charlie Brown is very confident in him getting a Valentine from at least one of his classmates, while Sally struggles to make one for Linus, so Charlie helps her out. But when Sally tries herself, she has little success. Snoopy, however, whips up a fancy Valentine that even plays music. Charlie suggests that Sally go with something of a similar design, but without the music. However, his Valentine completely falls apart. Snoopy goes back to the simpler idea of just a cut-out heart and gives it to Woodstock, although he slaps it right in his face. At school, everyone submits their Valentines into a box. Charlie Brown comes prepared for how many Valentines he expects, bringing a briefcase to put all of them in. But Linus's Valentine to Miss Othmar is too big for the box, and he's given permission by her to present it personally, not knowing it's for her. It's funny, Linus asks Schroeder the question, who asks Miss Othmar, and she answers in the typical way the adults respond in the Peanuts franchise, to which Schroeder translates to Linus. Couldn't Linus understand it too? Sally does the same thing, presenting her Valentine to Linus personally. But he just sets it on his desk and goes, "Oh, thanks," while Sally waits for him to give her the box of candy. Schroeder hands the Valentines around. Sally gets a Valentine that quotes Shakespeare, "How do I love thee? Let me count the ways," and so on, with Snoopy acting it out. It's funny, I'm actually going to a special Valentine's Day screening of one of my favorite films, 10 Things I Hate About You, based on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. Anyway, let's get back to this. As Schroeder continues passing the Valentines around, there seems to be a lot of students missing, but no Valentines for Charlie Brown. Are Charlie Brown and Sally in the same class? I thought she was younger than him. Violet starts to feel bad for him, but Lucy comments, "Who would waste a Valentine on stupid old Charlie Brown?" Finally, Charlie does get a Valentine, but it says, "Forget it, kid." Charlie checks the box to see if maybe Schroeder accidentally missed any, but the box is completely empty. Feeling angry and hurt, Charlie Brown throws the box out the window. And honestly, I kinda know how he feels. I mean, you'd think at least one person would have made a Valentine for him, even his own sister, or Linus, his best friend, but nope, no one. Linus tries to give his Valentine to Miss Othmar, but she has already taken off. Sally still believes the box of candy is for her as Linus passes her to chase Miss Othmar, but she takes off with her boyfriend before Linus can give her present to her, to Sally's annoyance. So Miss Othmar leaves school in the middle of the school day with her boyfriend? Must be an early dismissal as the rest of the class races out of the school. Charlie Brown and Linus make their way home feeling sad. Linus stops by a bridge and angrily throws the chocolate in the box off the bridge, but Snoopy and Woodstock catch the chocolates. He could just wait until the next day to give the box of candy to Miss Othmar. And furthermore, I thought dogs can't eat chocolate. Charlie Brown checks his mailbox one more time, but no Valentines, to his annoyance as he kicks the mailbox pole, injuring his foot in the process. Woodstock makes a large Valentine's Day card for Snoopy, but it's too heavy for him to lift when he flies carrying it in his mouth. When he reaches Snoopy's doghouse, he wakes Snoopy up to slap the Valentine on Snoopy's face like he did to Woodstock earlier. The next morning, Charlie Brown wakes up still disappointed about not getting any Valentines, checking the mailbox again to see if he got a Valentine from the little red-haired girl possibly. But instead of a Valentine, he gets a kiss from Snoopy. Just then, Schroeder, Violet, Sally, Lucy, and Frida arrive, and Violet gives Charlie Brown her Valentine, replacing her name with Charlie's, but Schroeder gives Violet an earful for missing out on Valentine's Day at school. Actually, she was there. Schroeder states that Charlie Brown doesn't want her pity Valentine, but Charlie accepts it, telling Linus that it's his first ever Valentine. But Linus is still upset over not giving Miss Othmar his present. So that's it. That's Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown. I hope you enjoyed listening. These Peanut specials always make me laugh, especially when it comes to holidays. They know how to entertain us no matter what season it is. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a happy Valentine's Day. See you next time.